back, Blowing Smoke fans. Thank you again, as always, for the support in the last little while. We kicked off with a beer can chicken, and it was a huge success. So I want to thank everyone again for liking that, subscribing, telling their friends, family, you name it. So we're back. We got a cool little episode in plan. So basically, let's get going. All right, so what we're going to do today, at work I usually make big sub sandwiches. People always comment on them. They're like, man, this is like one of the craziest sandwiches I've ever seen. How do you do it? So I thought we're going to do that. We're going to make a sweet, legit sub with a side of homemade chips. Ultimate blue-collar meal. You can take to work, you can take to the ball game, the park, you name it. So we're going to get started with the chips. So we got 3 russets, peeled and washed. Now we're going to slice these thin. If you have a mandolin, you can use a mandolin or a thin cheese slicer type with the other side. I don't use the mandolin because a few years ago I had a bit of an accident, so I'm gun shy. So I just use trusty big knife here, and you just want to cut thin strips. If you have a sharp knife, it'll work fine. The thinner the better. Keep it away from the fingers, but you can see that is perfect for potato chips. So we're going to slice these 3. Most people, you can get probably, I don't know, quite a bit from one of these russets, but you can peel the skins, you can leave the skins on. I peeled the skins off this time. I've done it before with the other one. We're going to kind of create a little seasoning to go with these chips. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these 3 thin as I can be. I'm going to soak the starches out of them. So we got a bowl of water here. So as I cut, I'm going to throw these in here. Rinse off the starches. Get that one off that knife. And this is the other key too. You got to add a little bit of white vinegar. That kind of helps with the whole process, cleaning them up. So just a bit of a splash. Rinse them nicely. Let them soak in here. It's going to be at least 15-20 minutes. The longer the better. We're going to give them another rinse, pat them dry, and then we'll show you how to fry them. So I'm going to finish cutting these last couple. I'll just do the one for you guys. So you don't have to bore you to death. But homemade chips are 10 times better, guys, than the ones you buy in the store, or the one out of a crappy vending machine, or overpriced, mini mart or something. So easy. Slice these thin, get them soaking, mix them all up. Perfect. All right. I'll show you what we're going to do next. All right, the chips are in the bowl of water and vinegar soaking. We're going to get the starches off of them. So 15-20 minutes, let them go. Rinse them. We're going to pat them dry with some paper towel or a kitchen towel. Then we're going to head to the fryer. So we're going to use this big heavy-duty pot here. Just grab whatever one you use for frying. Make sure it's got the density you want. Now let's talk oil. You want to use a good frying oil, like a canola or corn oil, something with a high smoke point. Obviously, these things only take a few minutes, but still, you don't want to use like a olive oil or extra virgin, or you get away with like a vegetable, this and that, but you want to make sure it has a good smoke point, just so that it doesn't burn the oil while you're cooking. It just ruins the food completely. So we got this big boy here, which is full of canola. We're going to use him. So I'm going to dump about ½ an inch in this pot, and then we're going to head to the stove and show you how it's done. All right, so I've got the oil on the stovetop here. Now we want to get to just over 300. 300 is ideal, but because the potatoes are going in, it's going to lower the temperature of the oil, so that's why I want to start just over 300. So I've got my probe here. Sorry to do the one hand. So it's going to take a little while. Yeah, we're close. Perfect. Okay, we're good. Let's start adding them to the basket, I guess. All right, chips are nice and dry. That is an important aspect. You cannot throw any moisture in there. Water and oil do not mix, especially hot oils. So we're going to throw these in little by little. I'll show you what I'm going to do just because I got one hand here. But basically, you want to move them around after because you don't want them to stick together. You'll hear the sizzle. Perfect. Throw a few in. Do them in batches. They're only going to take about 5 to 6 minutes. You'll see the color change. This is a little bit newer oil, obviously. A lot of places like to throw in the old oil with the new one, but sometimes it looks like a oil change on an 80s Grand Marquis, so we don't want to go that route right now just for chips. So I'm going to toss the rest of these in and I'll show you. Okay, so I added them in. Just want to make sure that they're not sticking together. That's why I'm using the spider here. Another tip, guys, do not crowd the pot. Do not overfill this because you could get a bubble up. Obviously, we have a little less oil, which is okay. But if you're doing fries, same idea. Never overfill when working with oil. It'll be extremely dangerous. So you'll see they're starting to go. And then perfect. I'll show you when we're going to take this batch out. And we're going to season them right away with that seasoning I made. So they kind of got that barbecue flavor. Okay, it's been about 5-6 minutes. These look great. You can see their colors change. They're nice and crispy. So we're going to get them out, drain as much of the oil as we can with the spider. Toss them in the other bowl here. You can hear that sound is perfect. Come on, these are always the stragglers. Okay. And toss those in the seasoning I did, and they should be good to go. All right, chips, fried, beautiful, seasoned, you name it. Now, let's get to the real deal. We are gonna whip together a legit sub sandwich, guys. This is not something you can find, at Subway or some fast food. This is the real deal. Starts with the bread. Get yourself a good sub bun or a hoagie. We're just gonna slice him down the middle. Make sure you use a serrated knife so you don't squish everything. People might ask, oh, what the heck, man, you're not actually cooking something here. Well, don't worry, because there's nothing better than a nice sandwich. So we're going to kind of remove a little bit of the bread, create like a pocket for your meat and your cheese. I'll just put this off the side. You can save this, you can do breadcrumbs or something, or feed the birds, because you'll be eating really good yourself, so the birds can get something out of it at least. Okay. Now you want to make sure you get something that can hold up, We've got a lot of stuff going on here. It may look intimidating, but man, this is one of the best sandwiches you ever make. So I've got 2 kinds of meat. We're gonna go with the smoked turkey and the Cajun chicken, and I got Swiss cheese. So it's all about layering, guys. So we're gonna put the Cajun on the bottom. So Cajun, we don't have to use all of this. It seems like a lot, but it's gonna be damn good. So Cajun, and then I'm gonna put the cheese, or Swiss. Nothing better than a nice sandwich, guys, when you put it all together. Take it to work, take the ball game, like I said. Okay, smoked turkey, you're next. This thing's gonna be massive when it's all said and done. At work, like I said, I make big sandwiches all the time, and people are always like, holy cow, are you gonna eat all that? What are you gonna do? You're damn right I'm gonna eat it all. So, let's get the topping going next. So we're gonna move the meat and cheese. We don't need him anymore. We don't need this knife anymore. I'm just gonna move him off to the side. Now we need a big bowl, and I just happen to have one here. So let's start assembling our toppings for the sub. A nice iceberg lettuce. Don't worry, I washed the cutting board. This may look like the same cutting board from the chips, and you're right, it is. But I give it a wash, got all that, potato and starch off of that. So we probably only need about half of this. Get yourself a good sharp knife. Change knife here. We don't need all of this, so we'll put him off this side as well. We're just going to slice super thin, just some strips of lettuce. The thinner the better. So it's nice to have a nice sharp knife. Okay, into the bowl he goes. It's okay if we make a little bit of a mess. That's what cleaning's for. Now we can use a little bit more. I love sandwiches. Probably one of the most ultimate food in the world. So simple, but when done right, they're so good. Okay, next, we got some beautiful cherry tomatoes here. They're the multicolored ones. You got red, you got yellow, you got orange, you got the darkish one. So we're just gonna slice them up a little bit. You just wanna kind of cut them in small pieces so everything fits on the sandwich. The worst thing, guys, is when you eat a sandwich, you take a bite out of it, and everything just squishes out. And that's because it's constructed wrong. So we're not gonna have that happen. So we got our yellow in there. Let's get some of the orange now. Again, cherry tomatoes. If you want to use, like a beef steak or something, you could. But I like the flavor of the cherry ones. I like all the colors. It just makes it look sharp. In they go. Okay. I'll move this so you can see what we're doing. Next, I'm going to just put some slices of onion. Off the end of that. I'll save the other onion for another project. So this sub I kind of inspired online, get the rest of those cherry tomatoes. So we're just going to let's get this out of the way for a second. You can see what we're doing. Sorry, we're crammed for space. This kitchen's getting smaller and smaller. So I'm just slicing little slices like that. Simple. Throw them in. Like I said, about half an onion should do. That's probably good. Put them off to the side. We're making a big mess, but you know what? It's worth it. Sometimes the end justifies the means. So, there we go. Okay. Next, I've got some hot banana peppers. Now, you may think these are hot, but they're actually a little more sweeter than they look. So, most of the, you see a sub shop or a deli, they use these all the time. I absolutely love these things. Oh, somebody's calling. So they might want a piece of this sandwich, I guess. So we're just going to kind of ignore that call. We'll just cube these up, slice these up any way you like. In they go. They're very similar color to the cherry tomatoes, which is kind of cool. I'm going to grab a little bit of handful. I really like these. I think they add a nice addition to a good sub. Okay, into the big bowl they go. You may ask, why'd you get the biggest bowl in the kitchen? Because I used the other bowl for the potatoes, and I couldn't find the other one. I think it's in the dishwasher, so we'll make do. Okay, next, we're going to add a little bit of seasoning. We got some fresh parsley. Okay, there you go. And some oregano. Again, just eyeball this. You don't need to be too precise. Now, we've got some olive oil. Like you said, last time we used the other oil for the chips. This is when you want to use the oil. You want a little bit of flavor. We're doing an oil and vinegar mix. So you want about 3-to-1 ratio. 3 parts vinegar to 1 part oil. So you're going to add that in. Okay. Now, just some white vinegar. 3 parts, 2, 3. That should be good. All right. Now, let's clear some space. Give that a mix. You know what I'm going to do? Just because we're clearing space. I'm going to do that. Boom. Now it's nice and dry. Okay. Got our sub back here. Okay. We've got our beautiful garnish. So we'll mix that all up. We got our lettuce, our cherry tomato, our oil. You might be asking, oh, where's the mustard? Where's the mayonnaise? Where's the barbecue sauce? No. This is how you do it, guys. We're going authentic. We want the flavors of the oil, the vinegar, the cherry tomato, the spice. Look at this thing. You might think it's a little bit wet. It's really not because the oil's that. So bam, there you go. Okay. I'm going to show you what it looks like up close. And then we're going to wrap them up just like they do in the sub shop. But don't worry, you're not going to have to pay that. We're going to make a huge mess, but I'm okay with it. There we have it. The finished ultimate working class meal. Sub sandwich, homemade chips. I want to showcase the meal before I wrap the sandwich and eat it. But there you go. Looks good. All right, it is time to eat. Chips, seasoned, beautiful. Let's wrap this bad boy up. Now, we actually made it a little longer than the wax paper roll I had, so we're gonna kind of get creative. Usually you want to do a triangle, fold it in. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tuck in this side. I'm gonna bring them back this way. Lift the big boy up here. Tuck them underneath. Tuck them underneath like that. That doesn't look too bad at all. If you wanted to, you could put a piece of tape or something. I'm just gonna give them the old slice in half. Foot long becomes a 6-inch. How good does that look? Now, what goes better with chips and a sandwich? Classic Coke. I've got my Frosted Ravens mug here. Yeah, it's a little excessive, but you know what? That's what we're gonna use. Let's let it get in here. Just to recap the meal before we dive in. Look at, they're calling again. It's like they know when it's dinner time. Everyone calls at the same time. All right, sandwich cut. We don't need that anymore. I'm gonna sit down. You can probably hear the fan because I was letting it cool down after the fryer. So, chips, washed, peeled, soak the starches, pat them dry, 300-degree oil, toss them in 5-6 minutes, pull them out, drain them with a spider, toss them in your seasoning, they're good to go. Listen to that crunch. You never need to buy another bag again. Sandwich. Alright, I've talked enough. Let's dive into this puppy. Make sure we don't need any wax paper. Here we go. Oh yeah. I'm telling you guys, nothing beats a cold, beautiful layered sandwich. I'll stop talking while eating. You got the lettuce, the cherry tomato, the oil, the vinegar. This is one of the best things to do. Like I said, blue collar meal, guys, take it to work. Big Coke. That tastes pretty good after with the hot oil and all the mess we made. But guys, I'm serious. Simple, the best. Pack your lunch. You know, you can make a bag of these. They'll stay fresh for a couple days if they last that long. Sandwich, you can mix and match. I'm not a big pork guy, so if you wanted to add, you know, capicola, mortadella, something like that, you could do a roast beef, something like, you could do, you know, Cajun turkey if you don't want Cajun chicken. Possibilities are endless. Pastrami, you name it, guys. Sub sandwiches, the way to go. Simple and delicious. I'm gonna shut up and keep eating. I'm gonna take one more bite because that was way too good. There are no words sometimes. But once again, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Tell your friends we are back. Blowing smoke, barbecue. Look us up. And as always, where there's smoke, there's flavor.